November 7th, 2006.
And you are here working the polls.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And how did you get involved in this?
My government teacher is sponsoring it through my school, Sarah High School, and about 30 kids from his classes are out doing it, and it's a good way to get our community service done for graduation.
Excellent. Wonderful. And then that money, the money goes to your senior class, I understand?
It goes to the senior class, and it's going to be used for prom.
Excellent. Wonderful. So, let's see. And so how old are you?
I'm 17.
And what are your responsibilities here today for polling? What did you have to do?
A couple weeks ago I went to a 4-hour training class, and they taught us about setting up, opening, and what to do during it, and how to clean up afterwards. And I got assigned touchscreen inspector, which required me to take home 6 touchscreens and 3 boxes of printer equipment. And I stored it in my garage for 2 weeks and then brought it here today.
Excellent. And what did your parents say, having all that stuff in the garage?
Well, they were pretty surprised that they would just give thousands of dollars worth of equipment to someone who just signed up for it. So, and I kind of agreed with them. I thought, wow, that's pretty gutsy of them to do, because I know they did that with a lot of kids, not just me. So that's a lot to trust anyone with, much less a teenager and someone that you don't really know. So yeah. I thought that was good that they're treating us more like adults rather than, I think a lot of the time in high school now we're treated more and more as elementary school kids rather than adults. So I thought that was a good balance. And my parents thought it was a good way to get involved and to learn a little bit more about the voting process for when I vote next election.
That's true, because you can't vote now because you're not registered,
right,
because you're not 18. Yeah.
Now Griffin is the touchscreen inspector here, and I just spoke with him. He just told me about he was responsible for the machines and he had them. But what are your feelings on that?
Well, first of all, he's one of the student participants, and when they instituted that program, I'm going to say maybe 4 or 5 years ago, I initially was in favor of it because I think students learning about our government process is always a good thing. And I always found them to be energetic workers. I've always found them to be very curious workers too, which was always a good thing. So I've never had a problem with the student workers. I've always encouraged them, and I pretty much have always had them. And he pretty much fills in that role of being that help that really is needed sometimes for elections.
And so you were first happy with the idea, and have you changed, or? No,
I'm still very happy with the idea. They could even have more, especially with the technology. The younger students have no apprehension about the technology. It's very commonplace to them to have a touch screen or a video or a camera or even a computer. They understand this. It's not a problem for them, and they take to it real well. So I would encourage even more of it if possible.
Now, how do you feel about him taking the machines home and having responsibility for those?
Oh yeah, I feel real bad about that. Now I had no idea how that was going to play out. So when he informed me today that he had to take his machines home, and there's 6 machines that he had to keep in his garage for well over 2 weeks, and to keep them safe and such, I think was a little frustrating and maybe a little too much responsibility placed upon on him or even a student. I don't think that should have taken place.
Great. And anything else you'd like to add about the whole process?
The one thing that I would like to maybe add is, being that I am a precinct inspector, and the precinct is at my home, which is combined duty sort of thing, I think it would have been real convenient for me to have the machines. I could have had them here, stored them here, and that young man would not have had to have that issue of either overlooking these machines or having the responsibility of these machines, and then we wouldn't have to worry about getting them here at 6 o'clock this morning, which he did. That was just fine. Our timing was fine. But if something would have happened to him, then there could have been some issues. And I think with the dual role that I play, and I know there's a lot of other people in my same capacity, I think that would be a good solution to something like this.
Great. And do you mind if I use this footage for my documentary?
Now, enjoy yourself.
Okay.
All these people are here to vote.